Sports on Tap is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group with Dobie Real Estate, Jason Stiltner at Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment, Land & Sea Motorsports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With news that's jaw dropping, they're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Hey, we're back. Welcome to this week's edition of Sports on Tap. I am Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Gigotta, and this is our NFL playoffs extravaganza, which I know you guys are looking forward to. We've been talking about it all week. We're just happy to be back in the studio. It's been a couple weeks.
We could be talking underwater basketball right now,
right?
and I'd be in for it. I'm just we've been away for a while.
Yeah, we've been out of the studio for a little bit, but it's good to be back. So especially this time of year, the NFL playoffs are starting. So I'm ready to get after it, but. Before we get into that, there's some stuff that's happened since the last time we did a show.
What?
Yeah, it happened.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Things have happened.
I mean, in the last month, things have happened?
Right, yes.
Wow.
While I was hiding out in my basement, things went on.
Right.
Shit.
First and foremost, Michigan, they made it to the playoff, as you guys know, and took on the now national champion Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes.
And proceeded to get mollywopped, as I kind of think we all thought that was going to happen.
As anybody who's not an SEC team will do.
Right.
That's the not to derail the show. That's the unfortunate fate we're looking at as any team going up against an SEC team in the playoffs. That's what you're looking at.
It is, and it's sad. And I'm sure with your dislike for Jim Harbaugh, that kind of just soured you on him even more. Yes, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe even not even rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a little short-sighted on my part, but I do dislike the guy so much that, yeah. I mean, we discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch at that point.
Yeah.
I wasn't won over.
No.
I would watch. And what I watched was they got their asses handed to them. And again, maybe it's unfair because maybe that's just what's going to happen to any team that goes up against the SEC.
This is what I took away from that game. Is I wasn't so necessarily mad that they got beat handily, because I think we all kind of saw that coming. I was mad at how they looked just completely unprepared to play that game.
They did.
And they played scared.
They did.
And they played scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what bothered me the most about it.
To me, they played like they were we're just happy to be
Right.
here.
Exactly.
Well, we're just really happy to be here, guys.
And that's what pissed me off the most about it.
Your championship was Ohio State,
Yeah.
and after that, it didn't matter.
Right.
Yes.
And
That's
so
unfortunately the way. And I know when I said that after the game, Joe called me Sparty for it. But
I call you Sparty for a lot of things.
Oh, I know you do. But even like today, I jumped on my Facebook page at work, and the first thing posted, "Don't let last night's game distract you from the fact that Michigan beat Ohio State." You lost to the team who just won the national championship in the playoffs, and the only thing you're still talking about is Ohio State.
Yeah, that happened,
Right.
over a month ago. Let it go.
It's cool. I'm glad that you guys
Right.
are happy about that, but there's a bar higher than that
Right.
you need to look at.
So with that being said about what happened to Michigan in the national semifinal, I guess my thought now, especially with Jim Harbaugh, is assuming he doesn't go to the NFL, which I don't think he's going to, but you know what? Do it again. Prove it.
I mean,
Prove this year wasn't a fluke. And granted, I don't think you can fluke your way to a national semifinal. I don't. But again, like we talked about our last show that we did, you got to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You got to compete again.
I'm looking at this as he's won 2 big games in 7 years.
Right.
And that's exactly what I look at it as. I even named one of my fantasy teams 2 games in 7 years.
Right.
Like that's
Is that what that was?
Yep.
I didn't even. I was like, 2 games, 7 years. What the fuck's this guy talking? I mean, whatever.
But
he changes his fantasy team every
Right.
week, so I didn't ask.
But that's the thing. So you got 2 games in 7 years, right?
do it again.
Do it again. And
And
now you got to keep built. You got to keep trending in that direction. And if you go this coming year, if you fall flat on your face, then I think that's your ultimate answer with Jim Harbaugh.
Well,
Assuming he doesn't go to the NFL.
yes. So in all the things that I've heard, Harbaugh is the one exploring the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's the one putting his name out there to teams.
Right.
And exploring the NFL comeback.
He's leveraging that
Yes.
to get what he wants at
which,
Michigan.
Which, listen, as much as I dislike the guy, you can't hate the guy for that. He's looking out for himself.
100%.
What I have a hard time with right now, and we discussed this a little bit, and I'll go into it a little bit more. And I think Chris, you knew what I was alluding to when I said it. I dislike Harbaugh so much I want him gone. But in wanting him gone, if he leaves at this point, it's because he didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get what he wants, it means bad things for Michigan athletics. Because what he wants is ultimately what every Michigan fan should want, what every fan of any school should want, for them to be competitive in sports. And in order for them to be competitive, they need to be active with the NIL, and they need to be active with the transfer portal, and they need to not be so high and mighty with the we only care about college graduates,
Right.
we don't care about athletics.
Right.
Harbaugh wants them to invest in the NIL, to become a huge part of investing in the kids in the NIL,
Yep.
and basically hire somebody to oversee the NIL at Michigan, and he wants them to be active in the transfer portal. Now, Michigan, the university, doesn't want that. So if Harbaugh leaves, and the reason he's leveraging the NFL for this is because I think he doubts they're going to give him what he wants. And he wants them to be competitive.
Yep.
So in order for me to get what I want, which is Michigan athletics to be competitive, I'm going to have to get what I don't want, and that's Jim Harbaugh staying at Michigan.
This ultimately to me, this ultimately comes down to.
I mean, when you explain it that way, though, it's really interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off on that one, Chris, but no, that's to elaborate on the conversation that we had. No, now I understand what you were saying there.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I said in the group text.
Yeah, and it was just that was a lot to go over.
I knew exactly what you were alluding to.
And that was a lot to go over in a group text. I just was like, we'll talk about it at a different time.
Right.
It's just too much to go
For
through.
sure.
And at the time, I was actually leaving dinner with my daughter, and I was like, that's a lot to text. But
Yeah.
I knew we were going to get into it on the show. And you hit it on the head. You knew exactly where I was going with it. For me to get what I want as a Michigan fan, I have to get what I don't want
Right.
in Jim Harbaugh
Because
staying.
that means that.
Because that means they're actually doing
Right.
what he wants them to do, which is to be competitive.
And I think ultimately this decision is going to be made by the boosters of the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of how bad do you want to win.
Yeah.
As simple as that. And now we're going to see what the Michigan boosters are all about. If you want to win and you want to compete nationally on a year in year out basis, I'm sorry, you gotta spend the money, man. You have to.
You got to get a Charlie Batch in there with what Eastern's got going on right now. Eastern Charlie Batch is literally offering guys $1 million for an NIL deal if they'll go to Eastern.
Right. You look at what Deion's doing
Yeah.
down at Jackson State. Like you got to do it.
He's taken what 2 top 5 recruits
Yeah.
this year already.
And look at what Jimbo Fisher's down at Texas A&M. They're not even hiding it. They're just like,
No.
this is what we're doing.
Texas A&M is doing what they need to do to compete.
Yeah.
And that's the difference and Michigan State is actually too. I give them credit.
Yep.
They're doing what
starting to.
Yeah. So, but you need to embrace the NIL. You need to embrace the transfer portal. Those are the things you need to do to be competitive. And I'm talking about those are the things you need to do to be competitive with your own conference. You have to do more than that to be competitive with the SEC. Like, you have to go over and above. Like, you're just looking at winning your own conference if you're going to be competitive in this regard, if you're going to do these things. You need to go over and above if you're going to compete with the Georgias and the Alabamas and the LSU. Like, you have to go over and above.
You also have to go back to making yourself the most appealing place to play in this state.
Yes.
The fact that Michigan State's even being mentioned in that conversation right now takes away from Michigan right there. And when we were coming up and Michigan was the powerhouse,
Yeah.
people we grew up with want to go play for Michigan.
I don't think it'll ever go back to that, though.
No,
No,
these
I
kids,
think
these
those
kids
days,
are
those days are done.
Yeah,
those
those
these
days are
kids
over.
are in a Michigan State world now.
Yeah.
And not that they own everything, but they've been the powerhouse for most of these younger kids' lives now.
Yep. And it'll never go back. What it needs to do, and I think
I think at some point naturally it just will.
no,
Will it be for 40 years like it was? No.
I
but-
think it'll be those two schools in major competition forever now, and I like that.
It's great for both programs.
I welcome that, and I welcome the competitiveness because it's fun. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. What I don't enjoy is some of the fan bases on both sides.
Yep.
But when it comes down to it, I enjoy that rivalry,
Right.
you know, and with the people who can take the rivalry with a grain of salt and be a rival, but also not be so to the point where, you know, you're some of the State fans on my Facebook feed still talking about how Michigan State beat Michigan. Get over it.
You didn't go anywhere. They went to a playoff. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I
now.
just and it goes back to you talking about Michigan, the Michigan fan that's or they're saying
the
that
thing out on my work page.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, at a certain point, just reel it in just a notch,
Right.
man. Like be realistic and just be self-aware of where you're at what point in time you're there. You know.
Yep.
Like if it's the week after the game, yeah, cool. If it's 2 months later and the other team went to the playoff, shut up.
And you played in what your biggest slappy calls glorified exhibition games. Congratulations, you did that, and you won. Great,
Yeah.
great.
Did they win?
I believe they did.
I didn't even watch.
I believe
the
they.
bowl game.
I believe they did win that game.
And Andrew says, not be a douche, you mean? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Don't be a douche. That's exactly what I mean, Andrew.
so it's
It's hard for people not to be douches these days, though.
Not to hijack this and take this somewhere that we weren't trying to go immediately.
Yeah, just do it because it's going to happen.
But what job would you see Harbaugh being an ideal fit for in the NFL?
if Frank Reich gets fired, and I think he should, Indianapolis.
Okay.
Frank Reich should definitely get fired. And this goes to, I know a while ago you were anti-Vrabel in Tennessee, and you were like, his days are done.
It's not that I was anti, and that came up actually not in a topic, but in my mind the other day. It's not a slight against Vrabel whatsoever. I mean, Vrabel, he's got him in the first round bye. He's obviously done
Right.
something right. I just look at that team and I go, I see so much more potential with that team than what they've accomplished now.
I disagree.
Like,
I think
I'm
he's gotten so much.
wondering if somebody else could take them up another level.
He's taken Ryan Tannehill, who people discarded.
Yeah,
Listen,
but
I know.
you and I, of all people, were the ones sitting here since he was drafted talking highly about him. now.
But still, what is Ryan Tannehill? Yes, I like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
What I know, Chris, you're not really a fan of Ryan.
You never,
Tannehill.
yeah, I was never.
I was
high
going to
on-
say,
on
you
Ryan
and I, this
Tannehill.
is one of the few sports things
So-
Joe and I have agreed on.
So
is Ryan
with
Tannehill.
but with that being said, though, what really is Ryan Tannehill? Ryan
He's a
Tannehill,
serviceable quarterback.
right? Ryan Tannehill is what at this point I think Cleveland should hope Baker Mayfield turns out to be, is a serviceable quarterback who can lead you with the right situation. And at this point, Vrabel's gotten a lot out of that team. If you look,
He has.
and he's built a roster there, and he's gotten so much more out of that team than I think anybody else. Like you put any other coach besides like Belichick on that roster, I think he's overachieved with that roster. I really truly do. They have a first round bye,
Yeah.
and didn't have Derrick Henry for 3/4 of the season. You know what I mean? Like
I know. That's why I'm saying, like, I didn't want you to take it as me dogging the job he's done, because he's done great.
But Frank Reich is that guy that I think
Right.
we should look at, that you brought up, is the guy that maybe he's run his course and maybe he just isn't the coach everyone kind of thought he was. That failure at the end of the season,
That was bad.
is drastic.
And Chris is the one who sent it over to me. Look at the position he's got that team in right now. You just traded your first round pick for a quarterback and then finished lower than the team you acquired him from.
Yep.
Wah, wah.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Because you know how much I love Carson Wentz.
Yeah, well, and the sad part is it's not even Carson Wentz's fault.
It's
most
not.
most of that was coaching. Carson Wentz did not have a horrible year, did not have a bad year. It was the majority of the glaring mistakes on that team were coaching errors through the season.
Yeah.
Like and when it comes down to the wire, the
true.
last few weeks of the season, the last few weeks, you were not riding the number one running back in the NFL. You were throwing it more than. What are you doing? You have Jonathan Taylor, who's been running the fucking cover off the football.
I think they looked at what the Cleveland Browns are doing and just said, hey, we're going to do that.
Like, just so stupid. And that's another one. Listen, nobody's calling for Stefanski to get fired right now. Well, there are people, but I think they're fucking morons.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, you have to question his coaching
Yeah.
this year. Now, he won Coach of the Year last year.
And
Doesn't-
that, I feel like, has earned you the right to go to
it's got
that
you one more year.
3-year
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah, it doesn't take anything away from that. But what it does is you can question a coach and his coaching ability through a year where you go, wait a second, man, time out. Like, I looked at the statistics, in all the statistics I look at for everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that guy. Yeah. I came across, it was like the Browns were top 10 in neutral game script passing attempts.
I don't even know what that sentence means.
So like basically
Neutral game script passes.
yeah.
This
So where you're not blowing
when
a
we call him like the savant, he's the only one here who understands what the fuck that means.
Okay, so listen to me. What's a neutral game? A neutral game script is when you're very close in score, right?
Right,
You're not.
right.
No team is blowing each other out, right? So if you look at that and you have a good offensive line and you're a running team, what should you be doing more in a neutral game script? If
Passing.
you're apparently according to Kevin Stefanski, you should be. But in a year where
Or Frank Reich.
right, in a year where you're and I'll just talk about the Browns here for a second. You brought them up.
My
in a
brain
year,
hurts now.
in a year where in a year where Baker Mayfield tore his shoulder,
Yeah.
his labrum in week 2, should probably have gotten surgery and been out for a while because look what did the Cardinals do? They shut down their quarterback for a few weeks to make sure he was healthy. So the Browns should have shut him down for a while. It just should have happened. That was
They
bad coaching
realized
itself.
that finishing in first place wasn't going to matter if they went into the playoffs without their quarterback.
Well, it just was right, which makes sense. So in a year where your quarterback is at like maybe 50% of himself, wearing a brace and not able to throw the ball properly, and looks like shit when he's doing it, you decide to throw the ball more, even though you're a running team with a very, very, very good run game. It just doesn't make sense to me. Those coaching errors cannot go inexcused. And when you look at that, nobody in their right mind should be saying he needs to be fired. But you should be looking at it and going, man, you need to change some shit next year.
Yeah, no
that
doubt.
has to happen.
Now, back to Harbaugh, we talked about
Yeah.
him going to the
So
Colts.
Indy is right now the job that
But
sounds
honestly,
like you guys would.
either Indy or now, just because this just recently happened within the past few hours, I can see him going to the Giants.
Oh God, I want him to go to New York.
I could 100% see him going to the
Give
Giants.
him Daniel Jones and let that place fucking burn.
And see, the one that I can see actually is
Because I can see the Giants giving him what he wants.
Oh, no doubt about that.
the one I actually can see more than the Colts would be your team.
The Raiders.
the Raiders?
Yeah.
I was going to say the
I
Dolphins
can
were
see
a
that
team
too.
that I had
Yeah.
in mind,
But
but,
that's not gonna happen.
their owner came out and
he's
said
like,
he's
nope.
not taking them.
Yeah, and he's got ties to Michigan, but
Right.
he's not going to take
He's
him
one of
because he's not
Michigan's
going
biggest donors.
Right.
Right.
He's not going to take him from
And he's
Michigan.
not going to take them for that reason.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Chris. I don't see him going to the NFL.
I don't either.
But if we're looking at realistic, what best case scenario would be for him there, I think you hit it on the head, Indianapolis.
Yep.
And I think my next one would be going to Vegas,
Vegas.
to work with Carr and to work with that team. I think he could actually do well. And I'm not one of those people that doesn't think he can do well in the NFL again. I think he can.
Okay.
I think if he goes there, he can do well.
I think
again.
he's more geared to be an NFL coach. So I think that's why I think he would do. I think he would do just fine in the NFL.
The only thing that his problem was before was he wore thin.
Yeah.
which
he
translates
treated them like kids, it sounded like.
right, which translates to better at college because after 3 years, 4 years, they're gone. So
Right.
that cycle is there for
Right.
you already. It's built in. Whereas now,
Except right now in college where you can stay for 5, 6.
Yeah, no shit, man.
And some guys
Well-
7 now.
well,
Years.
and with the NFL now, I think Harbaugh. I think this year you saw a big turn
did.
in Harbaugh's personality.
Yeah.
And I think his personality now would not be as grating because it looks to me and it seems to me now like he doesn't take everything so fucking serious. Like he's able to have some fun with it. And to me, that was the biggest thing with what I saw from the outside looking in this year was his personality kind of morphed a little bit. And he went from being this oddball, fucking weird dude that everyone looked at was like, man, you're sleeping in tree houses and you're like
Right.
doing weird shit, to, oh,
Sleeping on
wait,
recruits'
like he's
floors.
right, like, oh, hey, like this guy's not quite the oddball we thought he was.
Right.
He's actually kind of a decent, cool person. Like, that's weird. So I think now he
You
could.
just called Jim Harbaugh decent and cool.
I mean, I did say kind of. I did say kind of. But I think that in itself could translate to a different NFL stint if he did go there.
Okay.
And my one dark horse is Seattle. I think Pete Carroll's done.
I hope he is.
You think they're going to choose Russ over him?
Oh, 100%.
I think it's a smart move.
Absolutely.
I don't-
Chicago was the other one that I was questioning.
I thought about Chicago. That's just a mess.
Supposedly, it's his dream job.
Really?
Supposedly.
I actually think Russ and Pete Carroll won't be back in Seattle.
I could see.
I think
I can
neither-
see
I
that.
think-
I
I
can see
think
that
wouldn't
playing
be
out
a
as well.
dumb- yeah, it wouldn't
I
be a
think
dumb
neither
move.
one of them are back in Seattle.
I can see that playing out as well. 100%.
And I think the only person who couldn't be happier is DK Metcalf in that situation.
So, look at this. Out of all the coaches that have been fired, well, do we want to get into this, or do we want to talk a little bit more about the championship game?
No,
We
think-
kind of deviated away
Yeah,
from.
no, I think
college.
we talked enough.
I was going to say, I don't give a shit about the national championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
and obviously a lot of people didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about it either because it's like the lowest rated.
they didn't watch it.
Yeah,
I love defensive football, so I
Yeah.
enjoyed watching it for the most part. But if you didn't enjoy defense, you didn't enjoy big
yeah.
plays.
Like I saw
that
the
wasn't
ratings.
game for
It
you.
was the lowest rated
Yeah.
national championship game in the playoff era. So
It was like 2-yard rush, 2-yard rush, 2-yard rush, 57-yard pass, 2-yard rush. Like, yeah, I dig that type of football, so I didn't have a problem with it. But it's not exactly exciting to talk about either.
yeah,
Yeah.
And we talked about the last show we did is how you make this better and how you don't always have like two SEC teams playing for a national championship, which is just insanity.
The idea I threw you guys last summer: take your top two teams,
Yeah.
have the national championship, and then do a playoff with the rest of them, because at least people would watch the playoff games. then.
Right?
Nobody
Well-
wants to see two SEC teams that just played 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
playing again.
Well, and so if we're talking about the college football playoff for a second,
Yeah.
we
We all agreed not to, and then
I
started
know.
talking about it.
Well, but I mean, we had so much we wanted to get into, but like with the college football playoff, I discussed it before the show with you guys. Everyone right now is talking about how do we get these kids to want to play in these bowl games, and basically the top 4 teams are the ones that have all the kids vying into play, and the rest of them are like if they're a top 5 draft pick now, they're like, no, I'm good, I'm not gonna play, I'm not gonna risk it. Which I don't fault them for.
No,
but
neither
if,
do I.
But if you
You
really
have no money on the line right now.
But
Right.
apparently they dislike football according to Kurt Herbstreit and Desmond Howard.
yeah, but it's not their money on the line.
So stupid.
But if you really want to solve that, if you really think that's a problem, which in a way it kind of is, kind of isn't.
Steer into the NIL.
Well, you steer into the NIL, and you steer into the bigger playoff, because the bigger playoff means more teams make it into the bowl games that mean something because they're playoff games. And guess what? Those kids aren't going to sit out. They're playoff games. They're going to play. So that's the way you do it. You steer into the NIL. You put incentives in for the NIL, like you said, to where if you make it to a certain point in the playoffs, you make it to the playoffs, you make it to the championship game, you make it to semifinals, those are built into your NIL. But
Now
also,
we're talking money for these kids. And
Yes.
that's the like.
You gotta get 'em to buy in.
Everything revolves around right now.
and they're gonna play if it's a playoff game. But you have other ways to get them to buy in as well, and that's the way you do it. You steer into it. You don't try and say, well, they need to play in these games and we're not doing anything different. That ain't gonna happen, dude. That ain't gonna happen.
You're trying to convince all these kids to play in the last game of their college career
And risk-
do
and
it
risk-
for the team. When the reality is they've mentally checked out of that team already.
They're done.
Like I'm sure there's a handful of guys that, for every team that's like, no, I don't care, I'm playing. But anybody who's thinking about money, they're ready.
done.
They're working on their draft stock. They're moving their way on up.
Yeah, they're done. Done.
And
See
in
ya.
all honesty, it's not that exciting to watch. Like, I enjoy watching these bowl games, and we talked about it earlier. I didn't even watch State. Like, there was no reason to. I watched Michigan. I watched the Notre Dame games.
I didn't wa-
Outside of that,
I didn't watch
fucking
many
care.
this year. I didn't watch many this year, but guess what? If you have a playoff where you have you have a bigger group of playoff teams, and you have playoff bowl games,
And games actually mean something.
guess who's watching them?
But like you and I had talked about numerous times, Imagine if we would have got Notre Dame, Michigan. Imagine the views that game would have got.
Yeah.
Imagine how good of a game that would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been the highest rated game possibly ever.
Right.
And
Honestly,
in
for the
recent
playoffs.
history.
Yeah.
Like, you get what you want. You get that rivalry game.
Yep.
You get two teams that have a fan base more massive than anywhere else, with the
Yep.
exception of Alabama at this point.
Yep.
You get everything you want by just expanding it a little bit more.
Yep.
Sure, you're going to have to let in a Cincinnati and some other crap teams every now and then, but who gives a shit?
I don't.
I
would have watched fucking Cincinnati play Oklahoma State.
Hmm?
That probably would have been more interesting.
Oh, that game would have
than
been
them,
that game would have been a shootout.
well, you look at
and
it.
it would have been better than Alabama. And
What
Cincy.
gets you more viewership? What gets you more money?
More teams.
Games
that matter.
Games that matter. Games that mean something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets it. That's what gets these kids to play.
Yeah.
Sad.
All right.
And it also fixes this whole where Alabama's 1 and Georgia's 3, and these rankings, like the most interesting games there were Bama, Georgia, and Cincy, Michigan. To have the combinations they had, it was obvious what was happening the entire time.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yep.
Anyways, enough on
So to the you want to get into some of these NFL coaching fires?
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
All right. So
that. Just to cut you off.
Yeah, no.
I'm so disappointed.
just to cut me off.
Just to cut you off. I didn't mean to interrupt him.
No
but
other
I'm cutting
reason?
you off.
I say he's on a heater today. He's got 2 already.
Hey, man, I've been locked in a basement for the last 2 weeks, dude.
He's like for no other reason. I have no point. I just want to cut you off.
Yeah, right. Damn.
With
Now you forgot
Oh,
what you
yeah,
said.
come
yeah.
on,
Now
man.
now you fucked me all up. You fucked me all up.
What an asshole.
Now you. I
Wow.
love it. I love. We gave him so much shit. He forgot what you were going to say.
Unbelievable.
It's not hard to make me forget, but you made me forget.
That's true.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
It's fine. Move on to the next thing.
So-
Whenever Joe starts talking, I
It'll-
remember I'll
it'll
cut him
work.
off again.
Okay. So the recent one today was, and if it kicks in, just go ahead, jump in. But the recent coach firing, NFL coach firing today was Joe Judge, which when it happened,
That's what I was going for.
okay, go ahead.
The fact that we just got robbed, and I'm talking an hour. I was so looking forward because I know a rant was coming from you.
Oh yeah,
Chris.
Like my rage with Joe Judge is like yours for
Yes.
Gase, 100%.
Like the messages I received in the past few days about Joe Judge, I was so excited to come in and hear this rant on how this man's still employed. And literally, I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting to come in, and they fire him. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck,
I'm
damn it.
like, so let me get this straight. Like, you keep Joe Judge as your head coach, but the Dolphins fire Brian Flores? Are you fucking kidding me? In what world does that fucking happen? Oh, I know which world it happens in. This one.
The Marvel world.
I do want to acknowledge Joe Eberhard. Uncle Joe says, "Good points, guys, and another reason to expand the playoffs." I appreciate that, and thank you for listening. And happy holidays. Love you guys.
If anybody from the NCAA is actually listening, money. That's the only reason you need to expand the playoffs. Money.
Yeah. It's the only reason the NCAA does anything.
Right.
And again,
all the reasons we gave you are
right.
valid, but for you, money.
Money.
That's all you care about.
But yeah, so that Joe Judge 100% deserved to be fired. I can't believe they were actually thinking about keeping this dude. With all the bullshit that is coming out of this dude's mouth, and it's just like, come on.
I love the fact they fired him finally because he should have been number one on the fucking
Oh,
list.
100%. Like
right-
just that play that they ran against the football team. They ran a quarterback sneak on their own 5-yard line on 3rd and 9. Really?
With Jake Fromm.
With Jake from State Farm. That's crazy.
I think,
Did you just borderline go Christopher Walken? You went borderline Christopher Walken there. It's crazy.
It was. But you do. You run a quarterback sneak with Jake from State Farm, whatever the fuck his name is. Come on, man. Like that alone. You should have been fired after that play.
when
so
him and
mad
I
he-
were, I know.
He's so mad he went walking.
Ridiculous.
I was telling him though, like when he was texting me about this or messaging me about this, I thought I was the only person who had any hope in Jake Fromm actually doing something in the NFL. I didn't realize there was one other person. And unfortunately, that person's his coach right now. Or was.
Was. But it's the person who I am happy got fired, who I disdain with almost the same level that I
yeah.
disdained Adam Gase,
Adam Nagy.
Adam Nagy, because I refuse to call that man by his real name. He doesn't deserve it. It's Adam Nagy, and he fucking got fired because he deserves it. That man should never get another coaching job in the NFL. Fuck you.
I think it's very well said because that's, yeah.
What that dude did halfway through the season to Justin Fields was borderline criminal. Like, and it was against my Browns, which I was all for, but I'm like, you're literally trying to get this kid killed because you didn't want him drafted on your team. You're trying to let him die on the field because you didn't draft him.
He did to him what Shanahan did to RG3 at one point. Just said, go ahead, kill him.
Yeah,
Don't give a shit about him.
Like, literally, one of those times, I thought one of those times when he got sacked of the, what was it, nine times during a game?
9 times.
9 times.
I enjoyed the hell out of that, though.
Little Ferris Bueller kick there for everybody. I thought at one point in time he just was not going to get up,
Yeah.
and we were going to see a dead body on the field.
That was bad. That was really bad.
What he did was borderline criminal, and he deserved to get fired. I'm fucking glad he got fired. Thank you.
But the one that actually pisses me off is Brian Flores. That dude did not deserve to get fired.
He didn't. You know what pissed me off about that too? In the statement they put he's 24 and 25 as a coach there, as if to basically make sure they put out there that he has a losing record by 1 game.
I was gonna say, isn't he overall like 36 and 32 though? Like,
Well, but-
you're basically a 500 coach.
His first year there, he went 5-11 with a team that Belichick couldn't have coached to a 5-11.
that was a
Like,
bad team.
it was one of the worst teams you've ever seen on the field. But
And then he had to figure out how to juggle fucking Ryan Fitzmagic and a new upcoming quarterback.
well, and really they're saying that's one of the reasons why, which was his dealing with Tua and that situation. But in reality, Brian Flores did not deserve to get fired.
No.
If it's because personality issues, okay, it is what it is. But he's still that's going to be the dude that gets a job.
He should.
Because Brian Flores, whoever gets him,
That's a good football coach.
that's a steal for whoever gets him right now.
Andrew texted me earlier with a really good situation for him. And I don't know that this will happen because I'm seeing kind of who they're interviewing and I see where they want to go. But Flores and Rodgers to Denver. That entirely changes what Denver's looking at.
I don't think Rodgers is leaving Green Bay.
I think with what we saw out of Jordan Love, you can't.
Yeah, he's,
I do. So Joe says, I heard over the weekend that Hairball wants back in the NFL. What are your opinions on that? Whenever you have a dead minute to opine, I will tell you, when you get a chance, go back on this show, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and watch it. We did actually discuss that. So go back through there when you get a chance and listen to it. We did discuss that in pretty
good detail.
in pretty decent depth. So we did go into some things that I think you'd be interested in hearing earlier in the show.
right.
Yeah, I think of these. So I'll just go over Joe Judge, Brian Flores, Adam Nagy,
Mike Zimmer.
Yep. Vic Fangio from Denver.
Yep.
Urban Meyer, obviously, and Gruden from the Raiders. The Raiders are up in the air. Are they gonna keep what's his nuts? I forget his name.
I don't even know.
I don't even know his name.
It's a very like Sicilian Italian name. I don't really know.
Jim Lasagna or something. I don't know.
We'll call him Lasagna.
There you go. Vegetable lasagna.
Don't be sorry you missed the show. People join in different points of the show. That's the way it works. But
So it's a podcast. You can listen to it whenever you want.
yeah, that's the best. That's the best part about these shows is that if you do miss a portion of it, you definitely can go back and listen to it. So don't be sorry. We just appreciate you listening whenever you listen. So thank you.
Raiders coach. That's who I'm looking
Yeah, whatever the Raiders coach name is, it's like I said, it's a very Italian name. But
Rich Basilica.
Basilica.
Okay.
But so now that they made the
I'm
playoffs,
Italian, I can't even pronounce it.
now that they made the playoffs,
I
they
don't
have a decision to
care
make.
about that.
Well, they have a. In that case, you're out of here.
See ya.
Love you, Uncle Joe. Love you, Uncle Joe. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Uncle Joe.
So they have a decision to make, right? They made the playoffs when, in reality, I don't think anybody really gave them a chance after what had happened with that team, right?
It's the one thing that I couldn't stop thinking watching that game on Sunday night was how proud, regardless of what I was saying about not wanting them to make the playoffs just because it's a throwaway at this point, But the fact they did and the way they played all the way through to the end, like, as a fan, I'm so fucking proud of that team. Like, you overcame so much to just continue to show up every day.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of fight that I look at a team and I go, this is why I root for that team.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you have the Lions and the Jaguars, and I don't know why I root for them, but that's why I root for the Raiders.
I mean, according to Lions Twitter,
Wait.
Dan Campbell is like the best thing to ever happen to this franchise.
And,
yeah.
and Andrew just said something that makes me start to twitch a little bit. He said Adam Gase to Chicago.
Oh, good Lord.
So wait,
that would
Chicago would have your most hated coach
Oh, that'd be awesome.
and my most hated player.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Oh man,
That would be great.
My eyes twitching. The fact
way
that
to go, Andrew! You broke Joe.
The fact that man might actually get a fucking coaching job again, just the thought of that, it sends me over the edge. That dude should not be allowed anywhere near an NFL football field ever again. Him and Adam Nagy, his fucking might as well be his brother.
the two of them are going to coach a high school team next year together.
Do it up. Do it up.
Adam Gase is already coaching a high school team. He'll just save a spot
Right,
for his
and
buddies.
that's what I'm saying. They'll-
Offensive coordinator.
They'll
Yeah.
be together, and then they'll get what's his name out of who's the quarterback that they showed on the sidelines recently? The old NFL quarterback who grabbed the fucking player and basically blocked him down their entire sideline, screaming at him. I think it was Tim Couch or somebody. I'll get the video later and
Yeah,
send it to you
I have
guys.
no idea what the hell you're
Yeah.
talking
Tim
about.
Couch, huh?
Some old NFL quarterback is coaching high school, and one
Oh,
of his
okay.
players talked back to him, and he basically grabbed him by the pads. And
Oh, it's Trent Dilfer.
Oh, was it Dilfer?
Yeah, it was Trent
That's
Dilfer.
who it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it's Trent Dilfer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Trent.
No, a lot
like
of people
Trent
do,
Dilfer.
except that kid that he almost
Yeah,
fucking blowed over.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So out of all those coaches, we know Gruden's never getting a job again. Urban Meyer not getting a job in the NFL.
I
again.
think Washington would entertain hiring Gruden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I okay. Whew.
Just because that's where the problems came from.
Yeah. But okay, so Urban Meyer, no.
No.
Vic Fangio,
No. Yeah, that dude's a coordinator. He's not a
Right,
coach.
I was
gonna
going to say
say-
he'll definitely be a coordinator, but no, he won't
coordinator.
be a head
Yeah.
coach.
Zimmer,
No, hell no. That dude's another coordinator. He's not a
Yeah.
head coach.
Nagy
Nope.
shouldn't be allowed to near an NFL field ever
Nope.
again. And Joe Judge, no.
Nope.
Not even a coordinator because he was a special teams coach, wasn't he?
I believe so.
But Flores is the one guy who somebody that gets him right now is going to get a steal.
Yep.
With Joe Judge, and I'm going to say this and hope that Chris doesn't jump over this table and rip my head off for saying it.
Ooh, do it. Do it.
Joe Judge, I'm not saying has zero chance. I just have a really hard time faulting him for the entire mess there because I have that little faith in Daniel Jones. Like he came into a horrible situation. He's just done worse with a bad situation in my eyes.
But your job as a coach is to make the situation better, regardless of what your situation
Right,
is.
Right. Which is why I say
Now, as
like,
much as
I'm not trying to defend him.
And I can't believe
but
I'm going to fucking say this, but as much as we bashed MCDC, and he had some questionable moments throughout the season,
No
no
doubt.
fucking doubt.
He actually got better as the season
He
went on.
actually
He
did
coached like a
get
first-year
better
coach.
as the season went on.
though. Yeah.
And that's what you do. You don't get progressively worse in what was his third year.
Yeah.
You don't get
and
worse.
that's where I can't defend Judge.
Well, and that's where I can actually say something nice, which since you let me into that, about MCDC, is the guy actually did seemingly learn from some of his early mistakes in the football season, and he got better. I am not saying he's going to be a good coach in the NFL.
no.
Nobody's
not-
smart
do not-
enough to know when it's time to pull the plug.
Well,
That I can give him. Anthony Lynn, it wasn't working. He pulled the plug. From what I heard, he gave basically the offense to the tight ends coach, and he called the plays. And I'm not going to say it went great, but it went better than it did with Anthony Lynn. So
And then thank God you had Aaron Glenn.
well, and you might not have Aaron Glenn for long.
Nope.
but with the way that man's talking, like I know these are just words, and I believe every man in the NFL wants to be a head coach at some point. But with his mindset being he wants to be the best DC Detroit's ever had, like I'm all on
Yeah,
board.
but
Oh
you-
my
you
God, you are such a Lions fan.
right.
here's
That's
the
why I
thing.
say though,
Oh,
like it's
Jesus.
just words. It means nothing.
You can't, especially as a minority head coach
Mm-hmm.
candidate, you cannot say no to a head coaching job. You can't.
Oh no.
Because you might not ever get that chance again.
Well, what was Detroit's last DC? that kept getting interviewed. It was like 2 or 3 straight years he got interviewed, and he was gonna get the job, and then he didn't, and he got interviewed. But
They've gone through so many of them. I have no idea.
Long story short, he was basically he was the minority candidate
Right.
for every interview.
Okay.
Like it's the shit spot you're in that position is you have to be the guy to take those interviews, knowing even though
Right.
you're not going to get the job, just because like you can't. Being a minority candidate, it happens so rarely you can't afford to turn down any opportunity.
What I just want to say is, Aaron Glenn is not going to turn down a head coaching job if he's offered it.
Oh, absolutely not.
To stick around and be a better DC in Detroit, guys.
Right.
I mean, I just and hearing that from you again, I feel like I'm going to have an aneurysm on the show. I'm fucking just I'm losing it.
Do you need to beat me?
That's no, but you can't. You just said.
I mean, that bet sounded by Rob Deere. That motherfucker doesn't hit anything.
If I swung it, I would miss.
I don't know. I got a pretty big fucking head.
No, but Chris can vouch for me on this because we're a little more tuned into some of the social media aspects
Right.
of the local area
Right.
fans. That's all I've heard for the last few days is, oh, Aaron Glenn is being interviewed, but he's not going to go. He's going to turn it down because he wants to be the best DC that Detroit's ever had. Oh my God! Can you please? Do you if you believe the words coming out of your mouth? Walk into the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror, and then punch yourself right in the face because that's what you deserve. Thinking that he's not going to take a head coaching job because he wants to be a better DC in Detroit. Please go punch yourself in the face.
There's being a slappy, and then there's just being just dumb.
Right.
And what I meant by saying that
Right.
was I love that mindset.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just words.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do that, do it.
Ultimately-
but I also know the end goal.
Right. Ultimately, I don't think he's going to be a head coach this cycle. I don't.
No, he won't.
So I think he'll still be the Lions DC this upcoming season. However, if the defense plays somewhat like it did this year, going into next year, and even better, which, I mean, I don't really see it getting worse. Especially if you draft properly and make good free agent signings.
You did all of this with nothing.
Right. So I think year 3, he's gone. I absolutely believe he will get a head coaching job.
I think you need to start preparing for it now.
Yeah.
100%. I
100%.
think you need to get an assistant in there that's going to learn from him and take over and do what he's doing now when he leaves.
I agree with that 100%. He's just what he did this year. It's again with that roster it was honestly pretty impressive.
And it's what you guys had said at the beginning of the year. It's what he did with his staff. Like, he was smart about his hires. Right. And when one wasn't working, he pulled the plug on it and he made changes.
Well, and the thing I'll say about that is I can't necessarily say it was the correct move, but what I like about it is it's the
even Anthony Lynn's come out and said it was the right move.
Well, I mean, what's he gonna say?
When the guy gets fired and says no, he made the right call. I kind of look at it and go, okay, this must have been the right call.
He's not going to come out and go, fuck him. No, this is bullshit. He's saying what he needs to say. Whether it's the right call or not, what I like about it is the guy had the balls to make the call. And if you're going to lead a football team, you have to have the balls to make those calls and to make those decisions that not everybody's going to look at you and agree with you on.
Yeah.
And he did. He had the balls to make that decision. He had the balls to do it. And I can say, as much as I don't like the guy and I still think he's a clown, that's a leader move.
It is.
It is.
There's no way to argue it.
I really hate saying that. Oh, my God. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I might not make it through the show. Oh, Jesus.
You know what another leader move is?
Yep.
There you go. Give my guy Jason Stiltner a call at Flagstar Bank. If you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or even consolidate debt, give my guy Jason Stiltner at Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631. Rates are currently incredibly low, and find out how you could get up to $750 towards cost or even $10,000 in down payment assistance. So once again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Yeah, buddy.
Yup.
Yo.
Yep.
Yes.
Joe gave you a little goofy response there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But now I think it's time we're actually here to, do what we're actually here to do.
Yes.
Yes.
The extravaganza.
The extravaganza begins wild card weekend. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Do you want me to? Do you want me to do the picks stuff? Like, are we getting into the picks? Or are we
I
just
thought
gonna
you
we're just
maybe
gonna
had some
NFL do
music
it?
for it. I don't know.
I was going to say, yeah, run the picks thing, because we're going to end up picking these games
All right.
anyways.
So we're gonna have some music behind it. All right. Let's do it.
That's right. There we go. All right, let's get it. Let's start with the Saturday games. We're gonna start off with the Raiders at the Bengals at 4:30 on Saturday.
They couldn't have just taken the fucking tie. So
Right,
I could
right?
watch this game on Sunday night. Like,
It's a rematch of the Week 11 game where the Raiders got mollywopped 32-13. I honestly, man, I got to go with the Bengals in this one. I think they're just the way they're playing right now. I think they're coming together at the right time. I love the way Joe Burrow's playing right now, and especially that game this past week with the Raiders. I think I think this is finally when they hit that wall, and
they've overachieved at this point.
they have, and to get to, like you just stated a little while ago, for the Raiders to get to the playoffs after everything that team has been through this year it's an accomplishment in itself. However, I think this is where the season ends, and I think the Bengals win, and I think they win handily.
Yeah. Frank, go ahead.
All right. Obviously, being a Raiders fan, I'd love to see him win, but everything you just said, Chris, it's to the point where unless the youth that Cincinnati has shoots itself in the foot and the Raiders figure out a way to pull it out, on paper, the eye test, whatever you want, Cincinnati's the better team.
Are we picking these games with the spreads, or we're just picking who we think's going to win?
I mean, we can do it with both.
I was going to say I'm picking straight up, but if we
yeah,
want to do spreads,
yeah,
we can do
it's
All right,
spreads.
let's just do straight up.
Okay.
Let's just do that.
Say
That's fine.
Cincinnati's laying 5.5.
Yeah,
so.
they are. But that's why I didn't know if we were,
fine.
I didn't
I
know if we
still
were
like
doing
them to
this
cover
like.
Huh?
I still like Cincy to cover.
Yeah, I
it.
like Cincinnati to cover that as well.
I do too, and the main reason is Joe Burrow's the dude.
Yeah, he's
That guy is the real fucking deal.
I will give Dan the credit on that one. He's been singing that man's praises for a while now, and
That guy is.
I will.
I think he has ice water in his veins. No shit. For anybody who thought he was going to fail in the NFL, he is sorely proving you wrong.
100%.
Well,
after missing a lot of last season due to an injury. So
And it's the other thing that I feel the need to do is apologize to the Cincinnati Bengals for ripping you for not taking Penei Sewell and taking Jamar Chase
I did
and
too.
having
When
it end up being the smartest fucking thing anybody's ever done.
I ripped him too. I'm like,
Yeah,
you guys
we
need
all did.
Yeah, you guys need a lineman to keep your quarterback upright.
Yep.
Apparently, they did not.
they made the right moves behind the scenes to put together that offensive line to be good enough.
Yep.
And it just goes to show you, like, sometimes front offices and coaches can do things that you don't necessarily see on the surface at first, and then once it happens, you're like, man, that was pretty smart. And this is one of those things.
This is why we're not GMs or anything.
Literally, the words out of my mouth on that, Chris. It's why we're sitting here
Yeah.
talking about this,
Right.
apologizing for saying this shit, and you're actually doing it.
Well, there's not many things we have to apologize for. I will say that, though.
And I won't don't feel the need to apologize for it, but that is a call that I stood by.
Listen, nobody's going to get everything right all the time.
Right.
And when the difference between us and some other people are, when we get things wrong, we'll revisit it and say we got it wrong. Whereas many other people in this industry do not revisit their mistakes.
Nope.
They gloss over them like they never happened.
Oh, wait a minute. I never said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, man.
Listen, if you guys just complimented MCDC, anything can happen.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Please don't remind
Anything
me.
is possible.
Please don't remind me I did that. I would like to block that out of my memory.
I'm going to text you at like 3 a.m, remind you that Adam Gase is going to Chicago, and then tell you complimented him. And I'm going to lie to you and tell you complimented Adam Gase, too, just because you're going to be half
I know.
asleep and believe anything.
I know that wouldn't happen. I would have to be stroking out to ever accidentally compliment Adam Gase.
Moving on to the nightcap on Saturday, we got the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills.
Yes.
15.
It's going to be a great
Round
fucking game.
round 3 between these two.
I can't wait for this game.
Each team has won on the other's home field. The first game was honestly it was a shitty game. It's just the weather was bad, but the weather's supposed to be bad on Saturday. It's supposed to be basically the same
Second
weather.
game wasn't great either.
Yeah, it's supposed to be basically the same weather as the Monday night game they played in Buffalo. I always hate picking when it's my team involved. I really do.
I'm the same way. It's why I won't bet on the Raiders game.
Right.
Like even wanting or not wanting, but knowing
Just-
since he's gonna win.
Just watching the Bills, their red zone offense still sucks. It's so bad. Like I believe he just tries to outthink everybody when they get to the red zone. It's just like, dude, you have a 250-pound quarterback that can run. Use him. And they don't do it, and it irritates the hell out of me.
I think he's so afraid he's going to get hurt.
I do. Yeah.
I think he's fearful. I think he coaches in the red zone with fear.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Don't freak out on me on this. But
Do it. Freak out.
You think he's got a little Carson Wentz in him right now?
Who?
Josh Allen. He's afraid to make some plays because he's
No,
afraid
I'm
to get
talking
hurt?
about the coaching staff.
Oh, the
yeah,
coaching
it
staff.
has nothing to do with
I
Jo-
thought you were talking about Josh Allen. I was like,
If Josh Allen can
that's
run the
bold,
ball like
but-
damn every down, he would fucking do it.
I know.
Josh Allen. If they called
especially
a
with
run-
the running game they have.
Yeah.
I'd rather him run the ball than that.
No,
but-
I think the coach. I think I forgot his name.
Brian Dabble.
Yeah, Dabble. I think he's scared. I think he coaches scared in the red zone because
too.
That's fair.
I think I think he second guesses himself. If he thinks if he calls too many run plays with Josh Allen and on one of those plays he does get hurt pretty bad, that everyone will be looking at him like it's his fault that Josh Allen got hurt. So he tries to call plays that aren't suited towards their strength.
Right.
When in reality, steer in, like we talked about with the NCAA. Steer into it,
Just
man.
steer into it.
Steer into it.
Yeah.
Like the guy's 250 pounds and he's built like a brick shithouse and he's fast. He can run the football. Steer into it, man.
And not to mention, you have like one of the best receivers in the NFL. Like, dude, like your play calling in the red zone should be significantly better than it is.
And they have a hell of a tight end too.
They do.
Which you would, and this is the reason why I'm actually going to take the Patriots in this game. I'm taking the Patriots. I know you didn't make a pick yet. It's coaching for
Yeah.
me, and I trust Buffalo's coaching staff as much as I trust the Browns coaching staff right now, which is as far as I could fucking throw them because you've had these highs and you've had these real lows.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go that big of a gap
Yeah.
in your coaching ability and your coaching prowess there, I just can't trust you, especially against a guy like Belichick. I just can't.
Joe, I'm going to agree with you. I'm actually going to take New England in this one simply
Yeah.
because playoff Belichick is a different animal. It's a different animal, and again, I don't like the way Buffalo's been trending. How the last half of the season, I haven't liked the way they've trended, and they really don't have a running game yet.
Although Singletary has done really well. The last 3 weeks of the season,
he's not
that's
bad.
the one thing I can actually say
Right.
about that fucking coaching staff is they might have actually found a little bit of a run game without Josh Allen. Finally.
And they're going to have to use it again because it's going to be shitty weather.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to run the ball. And don't make the same mistake you did at the Monday night game and try to chuck it all over the field, man. It's not going to work.
And New England's already proved they could beat you throwing the ball 3 times in a game.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like
They
I said,
technically could have beat you throwing the ball one time in the game.
They could have.
So that's been proven. And like I said, for me, I hate. It's got to be for me. It's prove me wrong with
Yeah.
that Bills
Yeah.
coaching
100%.
staff.
I'm with you.
And I love that team. And I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. And I've kind of enjoyed the Buffalo Bills over the years from having family from there. It's one of those things where I want them to win. As much as I'm a Patriots fan, I want to see Buffalo take that next step. It'd be fun. I would enjoy that. I just don't trust that coaching staff.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. And like I said, Belichick's a different playoff. Belichick is a totally different animal. So
Yeah.
like I said, give me the Patriots in this one.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions about the Bills. Most of them are the ones you guys have just asked. The only question I have about New England is how is Mac Jones going to do in the playoffs? So
That's another kid who looks like he has ice water in his veins, man.
Yeah, I
right,
agree
and that's
with
what
you.
I'm saying. Like,
That's
is
so impressive.
Belichick going to get that lucky where he's literally going to strike gold twice and get the exact same person?
I mean, Mac Jones has been very fucking impressive, and very
but
impressive.
Everything said, that's the only question I have on New England. So give me the Pats.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Andrew takes the Bengals and the Bills.
Okay. I should probably be keeping track of these. shouldn't I?
Yes.
Maybe
moving on to the.
We didn't prepare in advance
yeah.
for it. Sorry.
All right. Moving on to the Sunday games.
for showing like 3 weeks threw us off.
Right. The 1 o'clock game, the Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one's kind of easy for me. Give me Tampa Bay. It's Brady in the playoffs, man. It's how do you bet against that?
I don't think my analysis of this game is going to be too in-depth.
No.
Other than I'm going to say I might have to reel in my criticism of Nick Sirianni.
Same here.
And again, go back to what we said earlier. When we get things wrong,
Yep.
we will revisit
Yep.
them, and we will maybe make an announcement
We
and say
clown
it.
that guy
He
after
may
his press conference.
Sound like a fucking idiot.
Anytime he talks, he still sounds like an
Yeah.
idiot. But listen, if his coaching on the field and behind the scenes is obviously better than his speeches and his
100%.
interviews, because that team, nobody picked them to win more than 3 games. Like nobody. No major pundits that pick NFL and preseason rankings, nothing. Nobody had. They actually had them with probably the top 5 worst roster in the league, and had them going like 3-13 or 3-15, 3-14, whatever it would be, whatever it would be, 3-14.
14.
So maybe we were all wrong on this guy. Maybe we were all wrong on that roster, but he got that team to the playoffs. And I'm impressed. I have to say that I'm impressed.
No, it's hard to say you're not impressed. I mean, I'm sorry. You get any NFL team into the playoffs, especially one with a roster that's questionable at best, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And with that said, I'm taking the Bucks.
Yeah.
Andrew's taking the Bucks. I didn't want to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to give a shout out to Nick Sirianni.
No, I'm glad
I think the
you
guy
spent
deserves
time
it.
on it.
I think the guy
because
deserves it.
It leads me into what I'm about to say, and that is Philly's a team like this, and Tampa is a team like this. I'm going to go out on a limb and take Philly here.
Wow.
All right.
There's one thing I don't do. And
dig it.
when it comes to my money, I'm not putting money on this because
Yeah.
I do not bet against Bama in the national championship, and I do not bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. But I look at these two teams, and I just see it happening, and I think Nick Sirianni could be the person that retires Tom Brady.
Wow.
I think this could be the end of them. And
All right.
I don't mean it in a way like the
Wait a
game's
second.
going to be so bad. that
No,
he's-
I
No.
get it. Yeah.
I just think that this could be Tom Brady's last game.
Jalen Hurts could put away Tom Brady.
Yep. The quarterback I traded in week 2 for fantasy football.
Okay.
right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm such a Jalen Hurts fan that I like the thought of that. As much as I like Tom Brady, he's got to retire sooner or later.
Yep.
And you know what? I'd
It's-
like to see
it's
my
a
boy
young
Jalen Hurts
team.
take him out.
They're hot right now. They have the grit that it takes to win playoff games.
Yeah.
And Tampa's just losing everything offensively.
And they have been. They're pretty decimated on offense.
You have no receivers. You lost Fournette. Like you've lost a lot.
Well,
and
I will say
love
Fournette-
Gronk to death, but Gronk can't be your whole offense.
I will say Fournette is expected to come back, and Evans is still there. You got Gronk. We'll see. They're decimated, but they're not. I mean, they still have some pieces there, and if Fournette comes back, that's a big add. But I like your thinking. I really do. I can't say that I'm not intrigued by that pick.
I actually had texted Andrew about this as soon as the matchups got set, and I was like, I don't know why, but I really like Philly against Tampa.
I dig it.
Yeah, so do I.
I just wish I had more confidence to put the free money I won last night on
Right.
that game because I'm sure the payout would be huge.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be enormous.
Yeah,
Put a portion of it on there.
I might throw
Just a
couple
small
on there.
portion on there. If you really feel like
It's
that,
a free $200.
Listen,
Why not?
and if you really feel that way, throw it on there.
I think it's a pretty big spread too, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
12 and a half or something like that.
eight and a half.
8.5.
8.5.
If
you take the money line-
touchdown plus,
Bro, no, if you take that money line, you know what that pays out?
No, I don't. That's why I'm saying like
It would pay out big. Just put a tiny portion of that free money on there.
throw like $30 on it.
Tiny portion.
There you
Go
go.
ahead. Hey, I might do it. You guys might have talked me into it. It's stupid to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, so I'm just gonna follow it up with saying that.
But if you already have that feeling, fuck it, it's free money, bro.
I know.
All right.
Next up, the game that should be the primetime game on Sunday, and hell, it should be the primetime game on Monday.
I was gonna say
Yes.
I'd rather watch this game on Monday, even though I do like the Monday matchup.
The 49ers at the Cowboys, 4:30.
What I think is going to be the best game of the week.
I agree wholeheartedly with you on this one. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Give me the Niners.
Yes.
Give me the Niners.
Yes.
I love the way they're playing. I know Jimmy G is still a little hurt. I get it, and I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy G. You know that.
Yes.
But the one thing I liked about what they did is they gave Lance some experience.
Yeah.
They didn't hide him on the bench.
Right.
If Garoppolo was hurt, they put in Lance.
Right.
So even if he is hurt to the point where he ends up having to come out,
Right.
you still have a quarterback that is played.
But I love San Francisco's defense, especially their D line.
They look good.
They finally
Yeah.
look like they're a
They're
whole
healthy.
unit again. Yeah, they're a whole unit
Yes.
again. And man, I get goosebumps because I'm such a huge NFL fan. San Francisco and Dallas.
That's the way it should be.
And where it means something.
Yep.
And I've been such a big San Francisco 49ers fan for so many years, and I've kind of pushed that to the side.
This is true.
Because, it's, you become a fan of different other teams throughout
Yep.
the years, and I've kind of pushed fandom off as a team in general.
And
But
when they're not great, it's kind of like I care about them, but they're just
Right.
they're going to be right there.
But
They're
like-
doing their thing, and I'll pay attention. but that's about
when
it.
they made it to the playoffs, and when even when Terrell Owens caught that pass against Green Bay in the end zone, and Terrell Owens was crying in that playoff game, man, I fucking love that shit. I cannot wait for this game, and I want San Francisco to win this game so badly, and I'm picking San Fran in this game. As good as Dallas has been all season, and I'm not going to knock them as much as I hate Dallas. I just don't think they're clicking on all cylinders. And you've got a defensive player in Micah Parsons who
He's a
he's
monster.
he's a monster.
Listen, I called him Defensive Rookie of the Year. This motherfucker fucked around and went out and became the Defensive Player
Right.
of the Year.
The dude is he's what we said he was going to be
And more.
and more. The other defensive player on that team though is Diggs, and as good as he's been at picking the ball off, he's been equally good at giving up yardage and touchdowns.
Yep.
So he's basically a one side or the other guy,
Yeah.
right? And he takes, in order to get interceptions, you take a lot of chances.
High
right?
risk, high
So
reward.
when you take a lot of chances to get interceptions, you also give up some big plays.
Yep.
So in this one, I'll be honest with you, I see Deebo Samuel taking big chunks away from him taking some trying to take some interception opportunities.
And not to
Yeah.
mention, another reason I'll give you, I think
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's a significantly better coach than Mike
Yes,
McCarthy.
absolutely.
Hard to disagree there.
Yep. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah,
though.
so am I.
I'm so pumped for this
If
game.
you've listened to me talk about him all year, before the season started, I told you Dallas was my hot take to make it to the Super Bowl. Not going against them now.
Fair
Give me
enough.
Dallas.
Dallas, there it is. Next up, this game. God, I don't even want to watch this. This is what's going to suck. Coming off the high of that mid-afternoon game, Dallas and San Francisco, and then you got to watch this shit as a nightcap.
And Andrew took Niners. Sorry.
Okay.
Andrew
Okay.
took Niners.
And then you got to watch this shit as the nightcap.
And he took the Bucks.
He took the Bucks and
Yeah.
the Niners.
Yeah.
Steelers at Chiefs. Ben Hamburger Helper, Roethlisberger, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Why does this game just make me frown?
It does. This game is going to be an ass kicking.
I hope it is because you know what's bad. So I hate Pittsburgh and I hate Ben, but
I don't hate the Steelers because I like Mike Tomlin.
I don't like the Steelers.
But,
But again,
I was gonna say, I do
I
kinda
don't
like the
hate.
Steelers.
I hate the Kansas City Chiefs now. I despise the Kansas City
I
Chiefs.
agree with you. So for me, being a Browns fan,
No.
I hate the Steelers, and I kind of always hate
And
the
that's
Steelers.
fair.
And it's kind of always been a thing. I just hate the Steelers.
Fair.
I hate Ben. Can't stand him. But I'm starting to really dislike Kansas City after I've been such a Mahomes fan
Yeah.
from before he even started on that
And
team.
now his brother's making you hate him.
There are not two people on the planet who I literally said this today.
Yep.
There's two people on. I've never hated anybody as much that I've never met in my entire life as much as I hate these two people. I hate them so much.
His girl and his brother.
Yes.
Yep.
And they make me hate that team.
Yep.
And of course the team being conceited and doing some of the things they do make me hate them even more.
Right.
Right.
I despise this game being on primetime. And I might have it on, but I might also just protest this game and not watch it because I hate both sides of the football so much.
Sunday night might be a movie night for me, to be honest.
I-
I may just throw on a movie instead of watch this game.
I'm not gonna lie, I might too because I hate both these fucking teams right now.
Like I don't hate Pittsburgh, but I nothing them. Kansas City, I feel the exact same way the two of you do. I think it's an easy Kansas City win.
Yeah, I
but
do too.
Is it bad for me to want somebody to punch Mahomes' brother right in the face, like literally
No, not
on
at all.
live TV?
It's where I sit here and just look at it and go, way to fuck this up, San Diego. All we had to do was
Kneel.
walk out of
That's
there
it.
with that. They didn't even have to kneel. There was 42 seconds left on the clock.
That's
it
true.
was
It was overrun.
done.
Just let it
It was-
bleed.
All you had to do was not call a timeout, and we would have had the Raiders in
I just-
Kansas City, and we would have had the Chargers and Cincy.
I just want somebody like during warm-ups just to like accidentally throw the ball and drill him right in the face.
Yep.
Right in the face.
Pull a Varsity Blues
Oh,
on.
it'd be great.
Just Varsity Blues him right in the
Smoke
nose.
him right in the nose.
The fucked up thing is, too, if the Raiders are playing Kansas City, I actually think the Raiders have a better shot than they do against Cincy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so too.
Just
Yeah.
because of the way they play
yeah.
Kansas
No,
City.
I would
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
And that's
Absolutely.
why, like, everything
Yep.
involved in that just totally fucked it all up.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
If I were to watch this game, it'd be because I'm rooting to see Mahomes' brother on the sideline just get run over by somebody or punched in the face or just get like DDT'd by some. Like
Bro.
I want to see that so badly.
I hope Mahomes is smart enough to keep his brother off the fucking sidelines during the play. Like, keep that dude as far away from. Put him on a plane, send him to like Saudi Arabia or something. Put him in a fucking hut and leave him there until the playoffs are done.
Andrew says Chiefs by $1 billion. I kind of echo that.
Chiefs by $1 billion.
Yeah, Chiefs by $1 billion. I kind of echo that, Andrew. I don't want to keep talking about my hatred for these fucking people, but I hate them almost as much as I hate the Paul brothers.
Oh yeah.
I despise those 4 people.
Yeah.
If Thanos were to actually happen and snap and they were in that half of people, I'd be happy. I'd be happy.
If one of the Paul brothers had to be in those people, but the other one had to survive, which one's surviving?
Oh,
Wait, what?
not I forget their names. The one who has his own podcast,
Logan,
Logan.
the older one.
Yeah.
So he would die or survive?
No, he would survive.
Okay.
Because he's not quite as douchey.
Okay.
Like the younger one who I can't stand that dude. I cannot stand him.
It was for no other reason than general curiosity that I wanted to know which one you hated more.
Oh, by far. the one that knocked out Woodley. Yeah, the one that knocks out fucking basketball players and ex-UFC
You mean
players.
the one who goes,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden his guard goes?
Yes.
Yeah,
that guy.
He literally pulls a Creed 2.
Yeah.
If you watch Creed 2,
He did.
You see his
He-
hand
this-
go, and that's
he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Literally called the knockout and of course, yeah, anyway, I fucking hate these people and I hate this game and I'm just hating everything right now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
right
Hatred.
then, yeah.
Hatred.
But nothing would make me happier than to see Big Ben get his shit pushed in one last time.
Yes. Yes. That's the only thing that might save me in this game is watching him sulk off the field and maybe even sit there and cry like last year when Cleveland beat him. If he could just sit there and cry on the bench, it would make it all worth it for me.
And he better not get the fucking farewell that he got leaving Heinz
That
Field
was
with
gross.
the NFL Network
So-
following
That was
him.
gross.
And- come on.
If I get a picture of Ben crying after the game, I will actually sit down and watch a TikTok of Mahomes' brother. That's how much I want to see him fucking cry after this game.
Bro, I have TikTok and I refuse to watch that shit.
No, but if I would trade watching one of his TikTok videos, and I despise the guy, I would trade that for watching Big Ben cry his last game. I absolutely would.
Noted.
All right.
Noted.
I'm very venomous right now.
Clearly.
You seem to have a lot of anger in you.
Rage.
This game rages me.
Rage.
This game just sucks.
And the Monday night spectacular.
Yeah. Cardinals at Rams. This one's easy for me and Frank. I know you've mentioned it numerous times. Give me the Cardinals. I don't trust Matt Stafford. Simple as that. I don't.
Oh, we do have a text. We have an SOT text.
Do we know?
It says, no, I am now ashamed. I lived in Kansas for 8 years. I want to punch them in the face, too.
All right, then.
All right. I
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Why would you move to Kansas?
Well, wasn't their choice?
There's no place like home. Sorry, that was...
Easy
Nobody-
there, Dorothy.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway,
all right.
Anyways.
Yes, of course I got it. And as much as I don't care for the movie, I'm still aware that it's one of the...
I don't know how you could not care for that movie. It's such a classic.
Again, the same reason I can't stand most of the movies, because it's so overhyped and it's looked at as this great movie and it's not that great.
Well, I'm sorry they didn't have CGI back in the day.
And Flying Monkeys creep me out.
That's okay. That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Anyway, this game though, I like the Cardinals. I think they're getting healthy at the right time. I think JJ's coming back this game. I do believe.
I think he
back.
is. That defense showed up again.
They did.
Right?
did.
They look like
And
they're
just-
healthy.
Like you saw the game against the Niners just played against the Rams. 70% of that stadium was 49ers fans. it was like a away game for the Rams, and I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like that with this game. There's not a true LA Rams fan. Get
Nope.
the fuck out of here.
Nope, there isn't. And I'd say it was more like 50-50, but the visiting crowd seems to be so much more raucous and loud
absolutely.
there that it makes them seem like it's like
Right.
80-20. Like
Dude,
they're-
it's a fucking party there.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, and
great
it's-
stadium.
and the party is for the opposing
Right.
fans because
No, yeah,
people
you're
who are
absolutely
there,
right on that.
People who are there to watch the Rams, they're LA people. They're just like there to have a good
LA.
time. They're
It's
there
like
to
Vegas is for
Yeah.
the Raiders, just for the visiting team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this
Yep.
game I like the way Kansas City the Cardinals are playing. I think they walk into LA and I think they take them out. With all the moves that the Rams have made to get to the Super Bowl, I just for whatever reason I just think it's totally fucked up that team chemistry. I do.
I think they're going to at least win this one.
What I like about the Cardinals, what they did is they were smart throughout the season. Okay, I said it earlier.
Yeah, you did.
They sat Kyler Murray with the risk of losing a few games in the season.
They didn't care about being the best regular season
Nope.
team.
They cared about what happens after the regular season.
Right.
And granted, coming down towards the end there, they kind of look like they might not make the playoffs.
Right.
But they ultimately had that goal in mind. They sat Kyler Murray. They did the right things with their team to make it through the season and have a healthy team going into the playoffs. And I like them in this game. I agree. I think Matt Stafford still leaves this game not winning a playoff game. I think the Cardinals take this game. They're just playing better to me right now, and I think they made the right moves. That defense looks really wicked again.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are cards. Andrew is
Andrew is nothing yet.
nothing yet. Okay.
He's nothing. He's nothing in this game.
And for this one, like I said, I am going to take Los Angeles. I think Stafford will just fuck up that Lions draft pick a little bit. I just see it happening, and for
Right.
some reason, I feel like next week we're going to be sitting here telling people, "No, he's not that great. Just calm down. It was a good game."
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see the Rams win.
Andrew
because
says Rams. Sorry.
I want to see the Rams win just so Lion fan can get angry,
I agree.
but I don't see it happening.
And to me, this game, I'm not going to be upset no matter who wins this game.
No.
I think this will be an enjoyable game to watch. I'm actually going to enjoy just sitting back and watching
Especially
this game.
division rivals, absolutely.
Especially on a Monday night game
yeah,
too. Like this
absolutely.
is a great game for Monday night.
I love it.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
I would have rather seen San Francisco Dallas.
much rather.
but
Yes.
But see, for
as,
me,
as the second best matchup, that's fine. I can live
cool
with
with
this.
for me, what I would have rather seen is I would have rather had San Francisco Dallas take the place of that fucking Chiefs Steelers game that I loathe so fucking much.
100%.
That should have been the primetime game, and it pisses me the fuck off.
I mean, if we're sitting here picking and choosing, then I want the Raiders playing fucking Kansas City on Monday night. And let the Chargers play Cincinnati and kick Pittsburgh the fuck out.
There you go.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, and that would have happened if it wasn't for the dumbass who coaches
Did you?
The
the
LA
Chargers. Yeah, L.A. I almost called them San Diego again.
LA.
The Sen.
I think I called them San Diego
LA.
like 4 times bitching about that.
Andrew says NFC West to win Super Bowl plus 450.
Interesting.
That is interesting. So one of those two teams.
So either the Rams or Cardinals. All right.
I wouldn't take that because I don't think either one of them wins the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think they're Super Bowl teams.
I just don't see one of them winning it. I don't see Dallas winning it. I don't see Philly winning it. The three that I actually see winning it out of the NFC are Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco. I think all three of those teams have a very solid shot at winning.
Yeah. I would actually agree with that.
You know who else has a solid shot at winning?
Who's that?
Oh yeah, he said the Niners are NFC West. Yeah, I mean, well in that case, for the Niners' sake, I wasn't even thinking about
What
that.
an asshole!
Wow.
I wasn't even thinking about that. They have three teams in there. Yeah.
He still has no fucking clue.
No, he does not.
What?
He's gonna do his
I was going to do
fucking
my
read.
read.
Oh. All right then.
I have a decent
had
enough
one.
segue.
Oh my god, you had one.
And Joe's like, no, I don't. But whatever you said. I'm sorry. I don't think either one of us were listening to whatever you just said because we were both like,
Well,
no,
see-
he totally missed this.
I did because I looked up and Andrew was typing
my
things,
God.
and I'm reading what he's typing. So I'm
That was great. That was great.
so you know who doesn't screw the pooch?
Do you want to read it now? Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 3 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, and Shane Wilson of the Joe Wright Group a call today. Phone number is 248-535-4750.
Listen, Andrew, yes, I will blame you for my failure because I am the only one paying attention to what you're saying right now. So that's why.
Oh, man.
Andrew.
That's great. Fantastic. Oh, good stuff.
All right. So anyway, yes, NFC West has 3 teams in there. Wasn't thinking about that. San Francisco, the Cardinals, and LA.
Oh, yeah.
So for the fact that I think
I still don't see any of them as...
I think San Francisco has a very solid shot. I really, really do. And for that sake alone, I would take that bet.
I might throw some ducats on that.
I do like that bet now that I realize San Francisco is in that bet.
Yeah.
So with San Francisco, you thinking San Francisco has a realistic shot,
Yeah.
what do they do next year at quarterback then?
I think it depends on how. I think it depends on how this year goes. If they
Right,
get
that's what I'm
bounced-
saying. Like, just completely based on that.
If they get bounced in the first round, Jimmy G is not a 49er next year.
No, I'm saying they go to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Oh,
And
if they-
in that scenario, they go and win the Super
If
Bowl.
they go and win the Super
Then
Bowl,
Jimmy
I think,
G's back.
I think you have to bring him back.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's the wrong decision, but I would agree.
I think you have to bring him back.
Well, and you know, I mean, they were
Unless
they
you
were
get
they
some
were
sort of trade offer.
they were a half a quarter away from winning the Super Bowl with him before, and if you look at that game, it really wasn't his fault they lost that game. So if they were to make it to the Super Bowl, I think even if they make it to the Super Bowl with him, I think he's back.
Yeah, no, it's hard to disagree with that because I mean,
Yeah.
you can't. I mean, you look at all the quarterbacks that have made the Super Bowl and won Super Bowls. It's just like I don't know. It's hard to look at that and say, well, this guy deserves to be back.
I still
No.
look at it and go, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl if he's
right.
going to win.
Trent Dilfer won a fucking Super
Yep, he
Bowl.
did.
You know.
Andrew, I see you're typing again, and I'm not reading it this time. You're not catching me off guard this time, bro. It's not happening again, man. I'm not reading it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, is he going to send you a note?
No, he said, well, you should know better if no one else is listening to me. He says more about me. and then he says, and think of it this way. The Niners advance. You get 2 NFC West teams into the divisional rounds, which is smart. Yes, because one of those teams is going to be the Cardinals or the Rams, and the other one will be San Francisco. So, yes, you're right. You get 2 teams in there. It's a smart bet as far as that goes. But... On that note, I'm done even reading anything from you because I got in trouble last time, and I am not going to be the only one paying attention to what you're saying and not paying attention to the live reads, which I completely screwed up.
Fair enough.
It really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just funny that we kept sitting here like, wow, he really has no idea.
Nah, he was totally oblivious to it.
I was absolutely
Totally
oblivious
oblivious to it. But
Completely.
What are you gonna do?
All right, who's your picks, boys? Who do you think's going to be there at the end? We got to do that one before we get out of here. I mean, we have to start in the playoffs.
I'm not changing it. Give me Dallas.
Dallas, who they playing?
That's almost like a toss-up. Like, there's really nobody else that sticks out in this that tells me it's a surefire. I don't know. Come back to me on the other side.
Okay.
I have to make a decision on that one. I was just going with Dallas to win it.
I'm going to go New England, coming out of the AFC
Okay.
with a rookie,
All right.
just because Belichick is that dude.
He is that dude.
And I'm going to go San Fran.
We're the same on San Fran. I have San Francisco coming out of the NFC. Out of the AFC, I fucking hate saying this. I think the Chiefs are going to roll through again. I do.
God, I hope not.
I hope not as well, but I think they're going to roll through again. I do. I just don't see him. I don't know if I don't see anybody beating them. So,
Picks.
yeah. That's mine.
Wait,
San Francisco and Kansas City.
Oh, all right. I can't hate that Kansas City pick. I'm torn between them and the Patriots,
Right.
but I'm leaning towards the coaching of Belichick as far as that goes. But I just I really want to see San Francisco win it all. I just want to see that team win it.
Fair.
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see if Kansas City's going to be there. I don't care who they play. I just want to see them beat Kansas
Right.
City.
Yeah.
Andrew says Bengals Bucks.
Okay.
And he also says, hey, Joe, also the Bengals are sitting at like plus 1,200 with Mary Poppins pumpkin patches. I don't know who Mary Poppins pumpkin patches is unless he's talking about Joe Burrow. But I don't know why that would be a thing. Andrew, you might have to explain that.
What?
Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
Mary Poppins.
I got nothing on
pumpkin
that one.
Patches.
Patches O'Houlihan?
You're close with Andrew. What does that mean?
yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like even I can understand him sometimes.
Got nothing.
He said just wanted to see if you would read it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know what, Andrew? You know what? Nobody's going to pay attention to you anymore. Nobody. They don't pay attention to you. I do. I'm done now. You ended it. It's done. I'm never reading another thing you say. Your buddy Frank's going to have to do it.
I mean, technically, we're done with the picks, probably. So
Oh, yeah.
now he's laughing. I can even see that. I'm just gonna take the cop out. Give me Kansas City too. It's hard to argue it.
Yeah, it is.
It's. I would love to say anybody else, but
It is. Bengals is interesting from Andrew up there, though.
I like it.
I would like, if there's a team I would like to see besides Buffalo, because I'd like to see Buffalo make that
Yeah.
leap, that step. I would enjoy that. It's Cincinnati, and as much as I shouldn't like Cincinnati because I'm a Browns fan, it's hard to hate on Cincinnati, and it's as bad as they've had it over the years. Which Cleveland has too, and Detroit has too. Something about that team. Like, I just would like to see them succeed a little bit. It would be cool to see them make it.
like Detroit is a bunch of losers. Cleveland's a bunch of losers. Cincy's like a bunch of losers who do win sometimes. That's what I can appreciate
mean,
about them.
they've
They at least play decent football.
They've been
most
to
of
two
the
Yeah.
Super Bowls. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You look at it, and I as a Browns fan, I hate Pittsburgh. I kind of loathe the Ravens, but it's hard for me to hate on Cincinnati. I just can't. I just don't.
I got to respect the fuck out of what Suggs did this weekend, though. Coming out in the Bang costume. Did you not see any of that?
I saw it.
I
saw it.
didn't.
So they did like this little 5-minute video tribute in Baltimore to Big Ben.
Okay.
And it was just a bunch of videos of him getting sacked and fumbling the ball and throwing interceptions.
Okay.
And what you would do for an opposing quarterback who's
Yeah.
probably going to retire.
Which is cool. I like that.
And then they brought some old players who played against them, and Terrell Suggs showed up full Bane outfit,
Oh, nice. Nice.
mainly just because Bane was the one
I
who
know.
blew up Hines
Yeah,
in the movie.
Heinz Field, yep.
I know you know, but
I absolutely know that.
general people,
It's a great scene.
yes. So I thought it was kind of cool when they did that.
I like that. I wish I'd have seen that.
There's this nice little thing called the internet, website called youtube.com. Probably find it on there.
No shit.
Might be on there.
All right.
Not positive, but it might be.
With that being said, do you have anything else you guys want to say?
Nope.
All right.
I got nothing.
Franklin?
Rest in peace, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of what else I had.
I'm gonna say rest in peace, Betty White.
Yeah, her
'Cause
too.
that
I forgot
was-
we haven't had a show since then either.
That was a bigger loss for me. That sucked.
Well, you're old.
That woman was a national treasure. National treasure. So, all right, and here's to hoping 2022 doesn't take anybody else anytime soon.
Right.
Please.
I mean, you could take the Kansas City Chiefs, not them as people, just the team.
I'm gonna not say anything.
That's why I jumped in and I was like, don't,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna not.
not wishing death on people.
Nope, I'm
not
not-
people, just the team.
Nope. I just wish somebody would punch Mahomes' brother in the face. That's as far as I'll go on that one.
I definitely wish
So-
that too.
Yeah. With that being said, it's going to bring us to the end of the show, and we appreciate everybody for listening and or watching, and thank you for tuning back in. I missed the shit out of doing this,
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
I was
So-
going to say, this hasn't felt like an hour and a half today.
No, but it's been a great show, and I'm glad to get back to it after the first year here. So thank you. Please check out our website, sotdet.com, and I've heard from people that you can buy things there.
Yeah, I've been told
with,
that as well.
with the Sports on Tap logo on it.
Yep.
So
can.
go there, sotdet.com, click on shop, and buy some merch.
And I will tell you the most comfortable hoodie I've ever owned.
They are incredibly comfortable.
It really was.
They really
like,
are.
I like hearing that.
I wasn't expecting much out of it,
Yeah, it's.
but I probably wear that hoodie more than anything
I wear it at
else.
work all the time. It's
I like
incredibly
it.
comfortable.
I like it. So, yes, please check it out. We got 2 people here are vouching for the hoodies. I have a few shirts. I have a few T-shirts, long sleeve shirts. I enjoy everything I've gotten from there
Yep.
thoroughly. So, sotdet.com, click on shop, purchase something, we appreciate it. Check out our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, everything else. And you can find all of our podcasts
All that stuff.
at your favorite podcast provider. Everything that's on the sign behind Frank.
Right.
So,
Get my big ass head out of the way.
yeah. Thank you for listening and or watching. And on behalf of Chris and Frank, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I've ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.